Kim and Will.
Okay, we're live.
Good morning, everybody. Would you all join me for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, again, good morning and welcome to the BOCC meeting. And the first thing on our agenda are the minutes. Gentlemen, have you had the opportunity to read them, and do you have any additions, corrections, or?
They look good to me.
Me too. Motion to accept the minutes is written.
I think we have
There's two of them,
two
yeah.
separate ones. If
Yeah.
we go ahead and move those.
It would be for the workshop for June 28th and the commissioners meeting for June 29th.
You second that?
Second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County for June 28th, 2021 and June 29th, 2021. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And with that, next we have Mr. Haley, planning, and I think we have our first public hearing.
Correct. Good morning.
Good morning. Would you go ahead and call the roll, Kim?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Stevenson.
Here.
Administrator Powers.
Here.
Attorney Baxter.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination regarding a proposed 3-lot minor subdivision and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by Ted Clark, agent Maness Associates, on property located at 26059 Road 38.5, Dolores, Colorado, consisting of 32.6 acres, more or less, located north of Highway 145, east of Road 38, situated in Section 36, Township 39 North, Range 14 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, March 9, 2021 at 9:30 a.m. Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://co-monezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated the 16th day of February, 2021. Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Journal on Wednesday, February 24th, 2021.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Now, Don, if you'd like to go ahead and give us our overview.
Sure. Just to remind you guys, this was continued in May because of the CDOT access permit. And I do have an email here from Ernie, the agent for Mr. Clark. I'll just paraphrase it here for you. Mr. Clark's been working with Joe at CDOT since March on the access permit. The latest email, all the information from Mr. Clark was sent June 21st to Joe Heinlein. Unfortunately, she retired June 29th. So the last 3 or 4 months of information back and forth is now turned over to her replacement.
Randy? Is it Randy?
No, it's some new guy.
So,
Can I butt in for a second?
in a minute.
I'm Ted Clark.
We'll give you the opportunity in a minute.
Okay,
Come on up.
Come on up,
He's
sir.
the party.
sorry.
Sorry, we'd never met.
I was here. I talked to Dan Rusin this morning, so
Okay.
he said he would have an answer for us by Thursday. And
the real guy here.
So, nice to see you.
nice to meet you.
Good morning. So then I'll go ahead and give you the opportunity to present your case.
Okay, yeah, I talked to Dan Rusin, who is taking over for Joe, and he hadn't had a chance to review everything, but he didn't feel like there were any issues, and we had given her all the information she needed, so he said he would get back with us by Thursday to to see if there was anything else that they needed from us.
So do we want to continue it until next week, or?
Well, we've got two options, and that's what Ernie proposed
There's no
here,
meeting next week.
Is,
2 weeks away, our next meeting.
so you could approve it conditionally on those items being completed, or now that we possibly have a real date and deadline, you could continue it to the 20th.
Either one is fine.
Gentlemen?
I would say just let's continue it and let them get it straightened out, so if they don't get it straightened out, we don't have this.
I would agree with that, too. So
Okay.
I would say, as Mr. Powers just pointed out, we do not have a meeting next week, so it would be the following, the 20th? Is that correct, Shak?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
the 27th?
So we'll continue this,
Okay.
He said he'd get back with me this
till the
this
20th.
week.
Does that
20th.
give you enough time,
I believe so.
to the
yeah.
20th?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
let's
will-
continue it to,
Oh, wait, you know what, I'm gonna be out of town.
Or the
Can we do
27th.
27th?
yes, we'll do it the 27th.
Okay.
I would
Let's-
move that we continue this application for the AR 1034's rezoning application by Ted Clark to the 27th of July.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded to continue this hearing for the AR 1034 rezoning application submitted by Ted Clark, agent Maness Associates, to July 27th at 9 a.m.
we already have the solar project
At 9?
scheduled at 9.
We better go 10:30?
Let's,
lunch.
let's, I would think half hour should be enough by then. I don't know. Let's do 9:30.
Okay.
We can stack them and have both show up at the same time. If you
Yeah,
don't want-
we can come and we'll just be there.
I mean,
whenever.
obviously, you would know.
Okay,
that there's something in front of you.
9:30. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then, Don, if there's some unforeseen pushback from CDOT on this and things aren't going smooth, let's zoom them in too.
Start these things instead of 9 o'clock.
We can do that.
Good point.
Look at it, take us 10 minutes to go through it. So then we're 10
We'll be in touch with him. We'll have some definitive information one way or another.
Start them at 9:10.
Thank you for showing up.
Thank you.
Okay.
You need anything else?
I don't think so.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Close that one.
Yes, we will close that public hearing. Our next one is scheduled to start at 9:10. If you don't want to read the roll, Kim, would you go ahead and flash it up on the screen, Shak?
Well, I think she's still got to read the roll.
It has to be in the recording.
Okay, go
But
ahead.
she
and read
doesn't
the
have to
roll.
read the
We
whole
have to
public
wait
notice,
till
but she does
9:10
have to
though.
call the roll.
That
Do
clock
what?
says 9:15.
Yeah, I know, that's why,
We
but
got
this
2
is
minutes.
That says 9:12.
Oh, okay.
two different.
We like to keep it on 9:12 in this room.
You're not helping.
I've got 3 clocks that I'm looking at, and they're all different.
Every one of them.
You know, you're sounding a little bit bigoted this morning. Your clock's different than mine, and that makes you bad. What is that about?
Don't
Where does he
listen to
come
him.
up with this?
Don't listen to him.
I figured it would come from, it is, we're living this advanced technological age, and we still can't get the correct time on any device we have.
It's on
know
our
what?
Chinese clock right there, digital form.
You know what, though?
You've got 32
I had this
seconds.
experience last week. I understand that we put a human being on the moon, and I try to send an email, and somehow my file's too big to send. Somebody explain that to me.
They put people on the moon with slide rules, buddy.
Oh, is that how they did it?
That's right.
So you need to print it out and hand carry it. Oh yeah, you've got a boot on. You can't walk.
I can hobble right over there and break that boot off.
My clock says 9:10 and 10 seconds.
My clock doesn't. Now
Now
it
it
does.
says
Now, we
9:10.
are good to go. Kim, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey.
Here.
Commissioner Stevenson.
Here.
Administrator Powers.
Here.
Attorney Baxter.
Here.
Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of proposed subdivision application submitted by Jimmy and Marian Rodd. Our property located at 11773 Highway 145 C, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 7.21 acres more or less, located south of Road M and west of Highway 145, situated in Section 13, Township 36 North, Range 16 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, July 6, 2021, at 9:10 a.m., Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://co-montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 11th day of June, 2021, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, Don?
I have Mrs. Miller here, daughter to the Rodds.
Good morning.
So they're basically just looking to split off a 3-acre parcel for their daughter and son-in-law to build a house. There are access easements in place. They haven't been recorded, but will be along with the Mylar if approved. And the CDOT access driveway permit has been amended to allow for an additional residence, adding up to 4. Currently, there's 3. This will allow for 4 from that CDOT access. And that has been approved already.
By CDOT?
Correct.
Because this was the one we had in front of us not too long ago, right? We had the issues with
Charlie Sermon, who is to the southwest of there, which has that shared driveway, they split theirs last year.
Okay.
He owns the access permit, but the Millers had that amended, so it's all done.
And planning,
They were unanimous. The only issue was to get the easements in place so that there wasn't any issues there, any conflict.
okay. Would you like to add anything to that?
No, I think Dawn did a good job. We made sure to get with our neighbors. It made more sense to use their driveway instead of putting in a road, and it's existing. And they all agreed, and we did get the easements done. And CDOT, I think I was a little bit more persistent that Joe just did it to get rid of me. So I just got that and just got it to Dawn. So, yeah.
Okay. Commissioners, do you have anything else before I open this up?
No.
Okay, well then I'll open this up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, come forward, state your name and address for the record. Okay, seeing nobody to speak for this, we'll close this public comment session. I'll bring it back to the commission.
I would move that we approve this subdivision application submitted by Jimmy and Marian Rodd on property located at 11773 Highway 145, Cortez, Colorado.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed subdivision application submitted by Jimmy and Marian Rodd on property located at 11773 Highway 145 C, Cortez, consisting of 7.21 acres more or less. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
All right, Jim, thank you.
you are good to go, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, just let us know on your survey.
Okay, I will.
Thank you,
They said
Marion.
It'll be a little while. They said
Oh, I know they're all behind.
Okay.
Thank you. Gonna kill some time?
You bet.
5
What have you
minutes.
got for
We've
us
got
to
a
sign?
setback variance we
I'll
can.
close, hold on a minute, I'll close that public hearing.
This is Mr. Matt Grace.
Good day, sir. How are you?
And he's got a after-the-fact setback variance request. Well, I can let you pretty much explain it, Matt, if you want to. He went through with the engineer and a contractor to get the elevations and the setbacks and everything right, and it turned out wrong. So now he's closer to the river than per the land use code.
So looking at that application, it's like an acre or something?
1.3, I believe.
1.3 that goes,
It's very deep, it's one of those Stapleton, I think Stapleton subdivisions.
Like all their lots, they're long and skinny.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go across the river.
super long and skinny.
Super long and skinny, yes, sir.
Um,
And I can't, I just was an out-of-town builder and came here and said, what's the process? And hired a contractor that I knew to be legitimate, and he was doing a lot of county work, a lot of personal work. And he had a surveyor. I assumed everything was okay. I really did. And then one of the neighbors brought it to your attention. We've had it surveyed now, and I'm just trying to make everybody happy, whatever I can do.
So this is,
It has no water to it, has no sanitation to it, it has no septic connections, it hasn't changed anything, it's a wooden deck, so.
anything else you want to add to that, Don? I mean,
No, and the county has issued a floodplain permit for that with the Cap Allen certified elevations. It's on piers. They pulled the skirting off so that there's no
water can flow through.
hindrance. Water can flow under it through it. There's a concrete slab at that grade in front of it, but that doesn't pose any elevation change. And I can only speculate, when they did the 100 feet from the river, that should have been the south edge of the deck, and I think it turned into the north edge of the deck, and they built back from there.
I think Cap Allen has it at 70-some feet is what he has it as, so, and I can't
What size
tell.
is the deck, like 24 by 24?
30 by 28, 30, but I can't tell you, I didn't. Yeah, I
30,
didn't
so
really
you're
know.
at the 70. Okay.
So the per cap's distance, he's at 63.71 feet, so we just requested 63 feet plus or minus from the riverbank, which actually isn't.
What's the
Water.
elevation difference there between the riverbank or the floodplain and that actually elevation of the deck?
That's 7173. Top of floor is at 7142, 88.
So it's quite a bit of difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's on concrete piers. It's not just, not just
That-
posts stuck in
They
the
use
ground.
sonotube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're anchored. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions?
No.
Comments, concerns?
Joel, you have anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. I move we approve the variance because there's no water septic flowing through there.
So I'll second it.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to approve the proposed after-the-fact variance application for a setback distance of a raised deck to the Dolores River submitted by William Grace and Elka Youngren? Perfect. Is that? On property located at 19826 Highway 145, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 1.39 acres more or less. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. There you go. Yep. And we are right on time, 9:20, Kim?
Yep, we're there.
half a donut.
Would you go ahead and call a roll?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey.
Here.
Commissioner Stevenson.
Here.
Administrator Powers.
Here.
Attorney Baxter.
Here.
Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a proposed subdivision and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by John and Robin Foster on property located at 15123 Road 18, numbers A and B, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 48 acres more or less, located south of Road S and west of Road 18, situated in Section 27, Township 37 North, Range 17 West, in N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, July 6, 2021, at 9:20 a.m. Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online service at https://montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 11th day of June, 2021, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Journal on Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021.
Okay.
Fosters are here. Morning.
Good morning.
So the Fosters are looking to subdivide off 7 to 8 acres with 2 existing residences and sell that and keep their ag land. They also own the parcel to the north where they live and have that property as well. So they're just splitting off the 2 existing residences on the east part of that 48-acre parcel. Planning and zoning was unanimous to recommend it for approval, no conditions.
So there are 2 residences on
Yeah, they're together. They're addressed as A and B.
It's one house.
Okay.
We,
Okay.
we had it split because we were renting out one side and we were
So like a
living in the other.
duplex.
Correct.
Okay. Comments? Questions?
No.
Okay. Well, then I will open this up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come to the podium, state your name, address for the record, please. Okay, seeing no comment, we'll close that section of the public comment and we'll bring it back to the commission. Gentlemen.
I move we approve the rezoning application submitted by John and Robin Foster on property located at 15123 Road 18, A and B, Cortez, Colorado.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed subdivision and AR 10-34 rezoning application submitted by John and Robin Foster on property located at 15123 Road 18, A and B, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 48 acres more or less. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
And we will
Just keep us
Public
posted
hearing.
on survey plat.
Okay, sounds good. And then the sign you want us supposed to put over there, the sign about?
Yeah, you can just set it in there on the desk. Thank you.
because
Yeah.
I guess we're going to take a brief intermission.
we have until
We got 6 minutes.
we have until 9.
We got 6 minutes.
Dropping like flies.
They
Yeah,
are
hey,
too.
don't test your luck.
How do flies drop?
Quickly.
Oh,
Gravity pulls everything equally, so they all drop at the same rate.
in a vacuum, that's true.
The broken one in your office?
Yes, that's the one.
Don't have him fix anything for you.
Is that right?
I asked Rachel.
Shak, you want to go ahead with your report? Or start it?
Sure.
All right, go ahead then.
Figure out how to navigate across here. So, what I have for the commissioners this morning is to approve the payables for the month of May. Social Services gave you their portion during their meeting, which was the last meeting in June, and so you have that in front of you. The Social Services portion was 1.5, so the total for the county for the month of May expenditures was $3,684 or $684,470.59.
Questions or comments, gentlemen?
I've read through it all. I would make a motion that we pay the payables in the amount of $3,684,470.59.
Second.
So moved and seconded to accept the payables May 1st through May 31st in the amount of $3,684,470.59. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 And then my update on the opioid meeting I'll be giving during the Board of Health meeting this afternoon. So.
Okay. Very good.
Just a reminder, there will be no commissioner meeting next Tuesday, as Candelaria and myself will be traveling back from Maryland.
No workshop next Monday.
There will be a workshop Monday that we'll zoom into that'll involve
right.
CSU.
Correct.
So.
Commissioners, any of you guys want to start your report? Or do you?
I can do this quick.
Okay.
Yeah, just was out wandering around looking at county roads. I found some noxious weeds out there. And like Shak alluded to, we are met with the Attorney General Phil Weiser, and we'll bring that up later on. And a few messages and phone calls, but that's about it. Tonight's City Council.
Very good. Oh, that's right. Live and in person.
Yeah,
Good.
they are live and in person.
In living
Mr.
color.
Singleton, do you have?
Last Wednesday, we met with the economic development deal and trying to map out some spots in the county that would work for businesses and stuff. And then Saturday, we met with the Attorney General on the opiates deal. And a few phone calls, not very many this weekend. Kind of nice to have a 4th of July weekend and not be on the phone all weekend.
And I will second that. It was, it seemed like people were almost back to functioning as normal and kind of enjoying the weekend and our independence, the celebration. So that was good. I was equally at the meeting with the economic development team, trying to identify some of the, plots that were accessible for power, sewer, water, with the economic development team on Wednesday. And it was a pretty good meeting. It's a start. It's a good planning tool to start, but where we go from there will be determined. And with that, Ms. Purcell, we will go to 9:30. Will you call the roll?
Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsay.
Here.
Commissioner Stevenson.
Here.
Administrator Powers.
Here.
Attorney Baxter.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma County Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination a proposed subdivision amendment application to the Fox Run Development, second amendment submitted by Ute View Farms on property located at 7255 Highway 160, 491, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 9.78 acres more or less, located west of Highway 160-491, situated in Section 4, Township 35 North, Range 16 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, July 6, 2021, at 9:30 a.m. Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online services at https://co-montezuma-co smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated this 11th day of June, 2021. Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado. Published in the Journal on Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021.
Thank you, Kim.
We have the Martins here, the applicants. Morning.
Hi, how are you?
Good. You? Morning, Josh.
She's gonna make me sit next to you.
So the Martins are requesting to amend their Fox Run subdivision. Currently in Lot 2, there's a small 1-acre parcel that was created years ago prior to them having the property. So they are looking to amend the subdivision to include that 1-acre lot, and then they would like to rezone the whole property as commercial.
Planning was okay with everything?
Yep, planning was unanimous to recommend it for approval. No conditions, no issues. The only condition, I guess, going forward is with CDOT, depending on who develops it, on a commercial access permit.
Off of G2, would that become a cross?
It would be off of 491.
It's to the west side of the highway.
Right,
This is-
but I mean, would that become a cross there?
Yeah, currently they have a residential access right there. It doesn't exactly line up, so I would imagine commercial development, they would probably align that a little better and do a frontage road or some kind of CDOT something or other, but
How does CDOT get involved at that point, though? How do they get wind of it? Do they have to come back through us?
they just have to be contacted by the developer, whether it's the Martins or if they sell it by the next property owner, because that's your only access.
When
So
I contacted CDOT about it, they said they got back with me and said that until someone, whoever was developing it, could tell what kind of a commercial business would be there, they wouldn't know, and then they would be able to look at it at that time.
Yeah, that makes sense. Just
yeah, there would have to be traffic counts or at least an estimated number of vehicles. Depending on what it is, it may be a low impact, no kind of traffic issue, but it just depends on what it may be proposed for.
Right.
Right now, the residential access is across from G2, and that's in place now.
And that's all that's there right
Yeah.
now.
Right. So even if somebody put a residence on there and did just a home business, then that permit wouldn't have to be amended at that point. But if it's some kind of other higher impact commercial operation.
Questions? Okay, then I will open this up for public comment. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this application, please come forward. State your name and address for the record. Okay. Seeing no public comment, I will close this portion of it, and I'll bring it back to the commission. Gentlemen?
Yeah, I know this property, just south of my house down there. I move we approve the Fox Run Development Second Amendment submitted by View Farms on property located at 7255 Highway 16491, Cortez.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed subdivision amendment application to the Fox Run Development Second Amendment submitted by View Farms on property located at 7255 Highway 16491, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 9.78 acres, more or less. All those in favor?
Hey, excuse me, Commissioner, could you include rezoning
Yeah,
on that motion, please?
amend the motion, please, to include rezoning to a commercial state.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
So then we will add that to what I just read. And all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Dang.
I will close
Thank
this
you.
public hearing. I'll finish my report, and then I think all of us are done, because I don't, James told me this morning, along with Shak, that he has no report from the natural resource. The only, Thursday I was able to go with CDOT and the Southwest TPR. They had just completed placing the bridge deck at the interchange of 550-160 over in Durango, over Gulch A, which is the big gulch. We went and toured that bridge, and then we went to Gulch B, which is a smaller bridge, and they will start moving as soon as they get their concrete tests back, obviously 7 to 10 or 7, 14 or 21 days, and they'll start moving the mountain of the 1.2 cubic yards of material that they have to move down to the south to get back to County Road 302. All that material will be utilized. So that project, $99 million project, is moving forward rapidly. And like I said, the Gulch A, that bridge deck was just completed by the time we got there. So it was a pretty decent tour with the Southwest TPR. And that will conclude my report. It was nice to have a holiday weekend off. Spent a lot of time with my family, spent a lot of time riding. Sometimes I was on two wheels, sometimes I wasn't.
Vertical and horizontal.
That's correct. John, do you have anything you'd like to report in a short amount of time or get started?
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have to change the way we schedule these, but in court, one way we make things more convenient for the people that are always there, but less convenient for the constituents or people that are at court, is we set everything at the same time and make 50 people show up, and then they all have to wait. Obviously, it's not as convenient for the people that are coming in to have their hearings, but that's something you could do, is just set everything at 9 and put them in an order.
We do that for P and Z.
Right, exactly.
Hate to beat them up twice.
So then there's no downtime. But as far as attorney stuff to report, our response to our road complaint is due in 1 week. Ian has done more work on that than I have. I did all the communications, but we'll get that filed. The draft agreement that we were exchanging back and forth with the town of Maness regarding the airport, I tweaked it, sent it back to them. I don't know that they're thrilled about it and wanted to wait to talk about that. And so they didn't like the stuff, I think, that I took out of it. So I think that within the next few weeks, Heather Alvarez will want to come meet with you guys and discuss a way forward on that. Let me see my notes, what I was going to talk about. The PACS case, the appeal is due this week if they're going to appeal it. And so we'll see whether or not that gets appealed or not. We did tell them Actually, that's all I'm gonna say. We'll find out whether or not they're appealing it or whether that case rests. The fairgrounds contract we'll talk about when Justin comes up, as far as the racetrack contract. I think that's it.
Okay. Very good. It's 9:40. Ms. Purcell, would you please call the roll for our next public hearing?
Sorry. Commissioner Candelaria.
Here.
Commissioner Lindsey.
Here.
Commissioner Stevenson.
Here.
Administrator Powers.
Here.
Attorney Baxter.
Here.
And Kim Purcell, Montezuma County Clerk and Recorder. Notice is hereby given that the Montezuma Board of County Commissioners will hold a public hearing for review and determination of a proposed subdivision amendment application to the Harrington Minor Subdivision submitted by Edward T. Vault on property located at 21555 Road F, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 3 acres more or less located south of Road F and east of Road 21, situated in Section 18, Township 35 North, Range 16 West, N.M.P.M. The hearing will be held Tuesday, July 6, 2021 at 9:40 a.m. Commissioners' Hearing Room, Montezuma County Administrative Offices, 109 West Main, Cortez, Colorado. Interested persons may attend and give input. Information may be obtained from the Planning Office online service at https://montezuma-co.smartgovcommunity.com public home. You may also contact the Planning Department at 970-565-2801 with questions. Dated the 17th day of June, 2021, Kim Purcell, Clerk, Board of County Commissioners, Montezuma County, Colorado, published in the Cortez Journal on Wednesday, June 23rd, 2021.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
Mr. T-Vault is here.
Okay.
Quick overview, it's basically a boundary line adjustment, but because it's in a subdivision, it's going through the subdivision process. The plat was amended in '09, but it was recorded, but the owner was wrong, had a discrepancy in who actually owned it between the guy and a trust and the bank and everybody else. So Mr. T-Vault bought the property at 4.5 acres, but all records, he only owns 3 acres there. So he's doing a boundary line adjustment to pick up the other 1.5 acres to the east of his property from the neighbor that is the only other lot in the subdivision.
So it
he's
just cleans it up.
he's just
Instead of leaving that
Yeah.
little bitty strip.
getting
right
it
there.
cleaned up from what he thought he had when he bought it and moved in, and just trying to get all the documents right.
Okay. Is that an access road, I'm assuming, that's on that side of it,
Yes, it goes back to the Harrington tow service
to the back?
to the south, yes.
Okay. All right. Questions, comments, gentlemen?
I have
None.
Okay.
Looks
Well,
good.
then I will open this up for public comment. Anyone wishing to speak for or against this proposal, please come to the podium. State your name and address for the record, please. Okay, seeing none, I will close the public comment session and bring it back to the commission. Gentlemen.
I make a motion to approve this subdivision amendment application to the Harrington Minor Subdivision submitted by Edward T. Vault on the property located at 21555 Road F, Cortez, Colorado.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the proposed subdivision amendment application to the Harrington Minor Subdivision submitted by Edward T. Vault on property located at 21555 Road F, Cortez, Colorado, consisting of 3 acres more or less. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Where's your surveys at now, do you know?
No, they wouldn't do anything until this was.
Okay, fair enough. All right, thank you.
There you go. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Eric. We'll be in touch.
Oh, I know. It's gotta be something controversial than this.
I'll take it.
And I will close that public hearing. I get about 50%.
Tim, give me a sharp stick down there and start just giving you one of these
It's
instead
not
of.
on my piece of paper. All right, Mr. Haley, what else do you have for us?
That's it for my list, unless you got questions.
I don't,
That went relatively well.
I like it.
One-man show, got it handled.
I like it.
Wasn't that interesting, I guess? You know, some governments place people in the audience to ask controversial questions, and we know how to answer them already. Maybe we should start doing that.
Or not. That's not in planning's
Keep you on your
plan.
toes. Okay.
We'll save that for the 27th.
Okay,
All right.
well, if that's all you have.
Good to go.
Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, you guys, too.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda is a public comment session. Anybody wishing to speak to the commissioners may come forward. You have 3 minutes and let us know what you have to say. Okay, we will go on. Next agenda item is Mesa Verde Country, Kelly Kirkpatrick, which I see in the back. Come forward, ma'am.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for having us today. Just really wanted to introduce myself. I'm Kelly Kirkpatrick, the Executive Director for Mesa Verde Country. And I won't repeat that. But again, thank you so much. We appreciate your support. With me is past board member and future board member Justin Vasterling, who is general manager for the Holiday Inn. And do you have anything to say? Oh, no, go ahead. Okay. Really just wanted to introduce who we are. You are familiar with the tourism office, but wanted to just let you know that we manage the tourism opportunities that are available in the county. We strive to strengthen the competitive position in the tourism industry. We work to collaborate with other tourism partners, the lodgers, restaurants, businesses that are all enhanced and strengthened through tourism. We create new programs to develop visitor readiness, and we try to stimulate the tourism industry businesses and organizations to encourage economic development. So we appreciate your support. We know that you work with the Lodgers Tax Committee to make decisions on how to spend the lodgers tax money, and we're very, very appreciative of what you give us, so thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Mr. Vasterling, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, maybe just things are going really great. I don't know how well you guys see into that with tax numbers and stuff, but Cortez recently had its first $300 rack rate room, which in the tourism and lodging business is fantastic. It's wonderful. And that wasn't our property, but it was someone in our comp set, which is just wonderful for, I think it's great for the town. We've seen rates lift across the board in town, which means we're able to, as a community, sustain that type of business, as opposed to like the $100 to $150 range. It's becoming normal to pay $200 to $299 a room right now for 30 to 40% of properties, which I think is fantastic. I think we're all very excited about it. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn, but we're very excited to see if we can increase the lodgers tax in the city, I think, as well as the county. So I think that would be another great thing for all of us, where residents don't shoulder the cost of that so much, and I think it'd be a very positive thing. So I'm looking forward to being a part of that and Kelly's awesome, does a great job marketing our area. If you're able to get those newsletters and updates that she sends out, I mean, New York Times, I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, all kinds of opportunities that we benefit as a lodger from, and the town, I think, as a whole. I mean, I know it's not all positive. Lots of growth can be interesting, but we're super excited. Another piece that I found really interesting in my connection with our brand globally, our brand right now, Holiday Inn, or it's actually called Intercontinental Hotels, is a large umbrella of multiple brands of properties, and they don't feel that there's a recovery yet. So globally, we're very lucky, and two of the reasons they cite, which I think are fascinating, is we're an outdoor destination area, and those are places seeing the recovery, and small towns are seeing a benefit from escape from larger congested areas. So we just really rolled the dice on a recovery by who we are and where we're at. So that's also really great. I think that...
Well, yeah, I guess what I would add is we weren't sure how 2021 was going to look after last year. In the city, we were 65% below normal. But by January, when I followed the trends for the rest of the country, we saw that not only people were continuing to camp and RV like we saw last year, but people were trusting hotels again. And so my prediction of 80-85% of normal occupancy for hotels has come true for Montezuma County. We're seeing probably close to 90% of pre-COVID occupancy. And as Justin referred, the rates are incredible right now. Whether that's sustainable, it might just be the influx of people wanting to travel. But those higher prices translate to competitiveness with other destinations. And so I think Montezuma County will see a continued interest from people looking for destinations that aren't as crowded as other mountain towns in Colorado. So I think we're on a good track.
I definitely think that, I mean, I know we were all pleasantly surprised at the lodger's tax of what we were able to do this year in comparison to the year prior, where it was not pleasant. Some not pleasant decisions came out of that. But I think maybe they have found, and we're gonna be found eventually, but it definitely shows, you know, the people that are moving to destination outside of the larger cities or the smaller, you know, Aspens or Georgetowns or places like that, that it is a destination to be had.
Well, we're thoughtful and strategic about who we target. And I think that message is resonating with that market. People that are older, that have more time and maybe more money to travel, have always been interested in the area. But we're finding a lot of 30s and 40-somethings who have found that they can work remotely and take a 2-week vacation instead of a 4-day vacation. They now have the time to travel here and, you know, through a road trip, and they can continue to work and their family can come. And so we're seeing a younger population as well. And that's encouraging because they're interested in our outdoor resources. And we have them. The county has done a great job with the trails and the maintenance and infrastructure that travelers are looking for. So we're just happy to be a part of it, that you support us, and we thank you.
You're very welcome.
Justin, my understanding is the bulk of the lodging tax that we got last year came from RV parks and Airbnbs, that the hotel industry might have been hit kind of hard during COVID. Is that an accurate understanding first? And then second, how are you doing on the recovery from that if it is an accurate statement?
For us at the properties, it was a significant impact at the, let's just say we lost in 20, well, that would be 2020, right? So we lost in the first quarter, affected us a third of gross annual revenue. So it's a giant chunk having to close and whatnot. Not a lot of people had to do. We made that call, so it hurt us really bad. It turned out the free money that's being printed was super helpful in the short term, I suppose. Recovery is going fantastic. We've ditched all metrics that even, it's really weird. It's like 2020. Looking at it fiscally, everyone's trying to erase, and we're only looking at 2019. I don't think I've looked at anything from 2020 in 3 or 4 months. We're just throwing the whole thing away. And with 2019, we're murdering it. So that's a really great sign. So pre-COVID records are being broken daily. And I think it's a somewhat skewed opinion. There's lodging in the county is, I mean, I don't represent all of that. I represent a segment of that. And in that segment, it's fantastic. So I am not sure if Airbnbs are being hurt so much, or lower mid-scale properties, how they're faring. But some sales have taken place, which is usually means there's growth happening and there's money and interest in the industry. But I think we're doing great. Our recovery is great. It's like everywhere else. We either need to pay people what they're worth or find people willing to work with where we're at, which I think is the struggle for the industry moving forward. One of the things that concerns me is it's going to be a challenge to hospitality is so labor heavy, you guys. It's so labor heavy. So much of the gross revenue returns to labor, and that's going to be a challenge that it's going to be fascinating to see how all of us solve the problem, not just the availability, but the cost of it. So I hope that answers your question. You know, the recovery is solid and strong. We could always do better. And whenever you see like rates jumping, the demand is being captured, and we're trying to capture it more efficiently. You know, when you see rates driving, there's no demand, and everyone's trying to. That's kind of what defines an off season. So high rates are fantastic. It means lots of people in town, so lots of travel. Yeah, but 2020, what a total nightmare, totally devastating. Without the government, we would have closed, or everyone would have to cough up a ton of money to keep the doors open. So, yeah.
So are you struggling with your workforce now, and just the availability of workforce, and not just the wages, or obviously it sounds like both?
The metric for labor in hotels is interesting, because you have semi to unskilled labor is 2/3 roughly of it, and then you have some highly skilled labor. It's like in terms of front desk clerks, accountants, things like that, where you can't just learn the job. It takes a long time to learn the job. And for the first time since I've been doing this, we've had, I mean, I hate telling this story, but 10 applicants, which is a normal amount for me to have on my desk, is 10 applications. And of 10, we could get a hold of 8. Of 8, I interviewed 6. Of 6, none of them showed. That's in a 7-day period. So that's the worst it's been. So I hired somebody over the phone for the first time in the business. I saw an application, called it, hired them, 3 questions, and they showed up. So like the worst, most unethical way to onboard a person was successful. And the process of interviewing and, it didn't work. 0% traction on, 10 people that could fill out an application and had a desire to be a part of it. So we lucked out with over hiring, but we're, our restaurant, I'd love to have all the seats back in our restaurant. We'd love to blow out the meeting space, just ditch the meeting space and just do seating, but can't find qualified cooks, can't find labor. And reasons in the past for the labor issue, it almost always ties to these one-off personal reasons, never really money, like we've never had someone quit because we're not paying them enough. Although it could be a factor, maybe several, 2 to 8% maybe are seeking better wages or benefits or something. So it might just be what people are being paid, which is a very complicated metric when you have, 100 employees, that, 50 cents for all of them is, $100,000 or more. But yeah, labor has been tough. I know we struggle as properties trying to find the right person, and when there's attrition, it's so expensive, and that it has to be, you got to rent the rooms that day. So, yeah, but the restaurant, the Retro's doing pretty good. They're managing to keep a hold of people, but this is the thinnest I think we've been, which it's so weird that accompanies such prosperity with regards to demand and leisure and tourism travel, that it just seems to be married to an inability to capture it. So there's loss there for sure. I think the whole town, I think if we had a pool of labor to draw from, whatever that means, we'd see higher revenues across the board for everybody if we had the people to work it. That'd be my take on that.
Okay. All right. You guys have any other questions?
Where's your office located?
I'm located on Main and Mildred, which is the Colorado Welcome Center, 928 East Main Street. We also manage the Welcome Center as part of the overall contract with the city, so.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rob, you're next. Road and Bridge.
Okay.
Well, good morning.
How are you guys?
Okay.
How was your holiday?
Actually, it was good.
Yeah,
Real good.
nice one.
Get your hay picked up?
Yes, I did. It was real fast, too.
You did it for the
Must have
shower?
been too cheap.
Yeah.
So, our meeting, our monthly schedule shows this month is wrapping up last month with some right-of-way mowing and drainage repairs. And then we were graveling at Road 10 out there for the DOLA contract, 5 miles of Road 10. We did get that done right before the holiday was over with, and so that's done and out of the way, and we're just waiting for chip seal now. So we're moving some chips this week, and then also paving along with Four Corners. They got started up on 20, well, it would be Road 30 actually, moving south, and then down along to 29, then all the way down to Road M. So they're moving down through there. It's looking good. I think it's gonna ride pretty good. We're putting enough work into the base on it to get some of the wobbles out of that road. And it's one of our bigger challenges. That road is a pretty tough one to pave. So, but I think we're gonna have a pretty good road there. So we'll do that, and then we'll move to Nancy, and then they'll move on down to G. And then if all goes well, I would expect Four Corners to be done by late third week or even into the fourth week a little bit. I don't show it that way, but I think by the 23rd, they'd like to be done completely and gone. And then we'll follow that up with shouldering before we paint. We've got the center markers to keep delineated down the middle. But it works better if we do our shouldering first. We don't lose that good clean asphalt with the paint. Do our painting first, then do our shouldering. So, yeah, do that first. So painting will wrap up in there, and then we'll get the shouldering done. So the truck crew, instead of hauling gravel to roads, they'll be doing the shouldering. That crew will take care of that. So that's kind of what we're doing over the full month of July, and we're thinking that we may be able to get started in late July with the Road 10 chip seal program, but it all depends on our supplies and our spread guy. So he's working with Dolores County. That's good. He's close to home. So I think we'll be able to get back and forth. If they do a little and we do a little, we'll be okay. That's the big work. We've got that and one little subdivision to do 3 chip seal layers on, and then we got several miles of single chips. And so those are easy to do. We can kind of come and go and put a load down and it'll go away for a week and come back, or a few days. Won't hurt us a bit on that. So that'll be what July and early August look like. Any questions on that?
No.
Okay.
You having trouble getting paint?
No, because I got in early enough, Commissioner, that he was able to have enough on stock for our jobs here.
and we're okay. If we had started later, yeah, he would not get paint. We would probably not paint for a while, so. But we're good to go on this much, so. I don't think we can do any other painting. There was some older chip seal like Road M last year I would like to have painted this year. That was, we might get some later this year if we get some more in, but it's not on our list right now due to that, so. But all the black asphalt will get paint, and that's what really counts, so. BLM access, 35.6, we've got our part done. We took that gate out, we gravelled that road, we've got everything built up through there. I know we do need to go up and do a little cleanup and a little bit of shaping, but the gravel is on. I did let BLM know, so their hope is to start this fall with that parking lot up there sometime this fall and get going on that. So we will also go down through 35.6 and make some turnouts. There's one stretch there about a quarter mile long where it's too tight for two-stalk trailers to meet. So we'll put some turnouts in there to get them by each other. The rest of the road looks pretty good. At the north end, coming up out of the canyon, there's some rough gravel there. We'll put some Mankus gravel on it, tighten it up, and get it where they can pull them trailers up out there without spinning all the way up. So, and I think they'll have a really nice road in and out there that'll be good for everybody. So without a lot of work. So we're about done with that. And then we're looking at starting another project this fall when the water is done, the irrigation water, and that's on Road 20 south of S, about down there by Terry Pickens' place, about a mile south of S. That culvert is collapsing. That's a 6-foot culvert. So we're gonna have to put a new one in. So I've already got survey coming in next Monday with me to start realigning the road there and work on getting a realignment of our easement through that section and move everything over towards the east a little bit, take some of that sharp curve out and put some fill in. It'll still be a dip, but at least it won't be a dip and a curve at the same time, and put a whole new culvert in there. So I got with MVI, Brandon, and he gave me some good fill dirt, a location to pick up some real good fill dirt, and I think we'll be able to get enough from them guys to put that in this fall, and probably do it, late September, somewhere in there, get that in this fall. But if we don't do that, pretty soon it's gonna cave in, so we've gotta get started this year on it, So that's what I'm working on now, is getting the easement all set up and moved over and make it all legal for us, so. And then on the slide down at McCamel, we're still monitoring water, slight differences, a little bit up, a little bit down, but pretty steady, nothing too drastic, nothing too radical. The designers want to drill 3 more additional holes down there. One basically at the road, then one about halfway down the slip, and one down as close to the water as we can get for material data information. They want to know if that material will work as an embankment. If the water is under control, like I've been saying, then the plan looks like it's going to be a rock embankment fill without importing material, but we won't know until we take these samples and see what we got there for cohesive materials that'll work for us. So that's something we'll start on later this week, building a ramp down in there for them and get the drill down there sometime, hopefully next week sometime, and drill 3 more holes real quick, maybe 30, 40 feet deep, just show us what's there in a cross section, and then we'll have something to work with on a design. And again, I'm doing this because if I do all this and it falls in the creek, then we just wasted a lot of money. So I think this is still prudence, and it's still good to know what we're going to be doing. So that's still the plan. Still stable, everything's still holding, and I think we're okay. And that'll be another fall job this year to get in there and get that all built back up before winter hits. So lots of work to do. Water is a shortage, so we won't be doing a lot of gravel hauling. There's a couple little roads we want to work on, and it'll take a little water, and if we can manage that, fine. If we can't, then we'll just go about our way doing these other things. So it's shouldering, it's slide work, it's the Road 20 work, and a lot of this mowing and drainage work with this new excavator we're getting. So that's kind of the direction we're headed in the next 3 or 4 months here. So but where I'm at. So
Rob, where you guys took out those rumble strips and patched it out at Road P, much better.
you didn't like getting woke up there at southbound 70?
Well, no, having the turning lanes there and
Oh, the
stuff makes
turning
traffic flow a lot
Oh,
better. So
yeah, isn't
and
that
you guys
nice?
had a big part of that. So
Yeah,
It's-
it's CDOT. I mean, Jim did most of the deal. It was CDOT that said, yes, we'll make it work if you'll help us. We need some help here, and it came together well. And it is nice to be able to sit there in that turn lane now and
Yeah.
make a left turn.
Not have to
So.
worry about somebody running over
Oh,
you.
boy, yeah.
Yep.
I actually
So-
have had one call last week that didn't like it, which was on N Road, believe it or not, which is turning into the
Stokes.
Yeah, Stokes.
Yeah, I saw almost had there was a wreck there
So,
almost one day,
I've
so.
got to get back with Julie, the traffic engineer, and see if there's, because apparently, and I've got to go out there and look at it, but, you know, I don't know what the actual length that we created those, but whatever CDOT standard is. He
Well-
said he was having trouble of people getting off.
You
But I
can't.
don't quite understand it because it's a right-hand turn. You can get
No,
off into
it's
their driveway.
well, because on a right-hand turn, there's no shoulder anymore, so they have to still slow down to let that person make a right-hand turn. Or pass in a passing, turn lane. So but you know, you're running out of room. You can only do so much without
Right.
widening things
Right.
out. But I'll tell you where the near miss was a southbound that didn't know where to go to make a left turn, because there is no left turn, southbound.
No,
So he's caught no man's land. Part of him's in northbound, part of him's in southbound, and the rest of him's in a left turn lane.
coming
So,
south.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was almost a big calamity one day. So, yeah, it's.
And that's where a lot of those wrecks have occurred on
Yes, it
Road
is.
N,
Yeah.
is making the turn to the west there to the east instead of the west.
Right, and then they, I don't
They're still
know
in that
who owns
traffic.
what around there, but they've closed off that access off of Road N into John Deere. So you can't come through that parking lot to get to John Deere, because I thought,
Correct.
well, this'll be good. You'll turn it in, go down the road, turn right, and go into John Deere.
Yeah, I
Not so
heard there's a
anymore.
fence being
Yeah, it's
put
all
up there
private
now.
now. It's
So
all,
you actually have to turn into the John Deere place
yes.
at the John Deere.
And it's
Off the
kind of
highway.
bad going north or south. It don't
Yeah.
matter which way you're going, you're gonna cause a bottleneck. Yeah.
And that's kind of due to the fence and the new property owner out there.
Oh, yeah, or, you know, trespassing or whatever, yeah, so.
So I've got a phone call into Julie and I'll see what we can do.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't see the northbound, but I have seen southbound get in trouble
Yeah.
there. They get caught in the middle and they don't know what to do, you know.
Well,
But-
my preference when you talk to Julie is just let's go 4 lanes from the Shiprock state line to the Monticello state line.
And that's been
No,
on there
I
with,
have bigger ideas than that.
Well, CDOT can only do
To
that.
Crescent Junction.
I agree, but CDOT doesn't have any influence over the New Mexico or Utah side.
those are still there. That map still shows red in a lot of those spots. And it's already on the planning portion of it, with CDOT and hopefully with Senate Bill 260 passing, that with a little pressure, we might be able to put a little bit more on them to get some of those places resolved.
With
At
Nancy,
least-
you'd have to do almost what you did at Road S.
Mhm.
You need more shoulder, and they did do that. They built them shoulders out to give right-hand turns, left-hand turns, and center lane turns.
And there's room there to get shoulder.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. So I think in the future meetings with our CDOT meetings and all that, I think that would be one to push for, is a more shoulder, more turn lanes, because it
Yeah.
is a busy intersection.
I will bring it up with her again,
Yeah.
and specifically at our next TPR meeting.
You know, with,
Businesses on all 4 corners of that.
absolutely. You know, you got Tucker
Yeah,
and
so-
Tucker and John Deere and the fire department, you got
Yeah.
Rain for Rent, you've got that other pipe company, and now you got this trucking company that's splitting off the John Deere parking lot, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
just a
split.
busy
That-
place.
That
Yeah.
kind of, that
Yeah.
split which is,
Oh,
I mean, he's right.
I didn't think that would happen. I had no
Fencing
idea.
his property,
And I
no,
went, "Oh,
none of us-
This isn't good.
none of us
Yeah.
could forecast that
Yeah.
until it's happening.
If
Yeah.
you'd freshen up that
Everything-
crystal ball a little, it'd help.
Everything has been very positive, and I've just had one call.
Well, yeah, it's been a couple of incidents that I've witnessed, so it must be happening. I mean, you to drive out there and see one happening, and it's happening. So, I mean, the odds of you having to see a wreck are pretty high there if you're seeing the near miss. So, that's pretty important. Yeah, that's a good one to visit with the CDOT people about. Yeah.
I did have one request, and it wasn't, I mean, they were very nice about it. Highland Terrace, they'd like to have that looked at and put on the road improvement plan one of these days.
It's in
K7, K8,
It's next year.
is it
There,
next
we
year?
already did the blade patching up there, and then we're gonna put chip seal layer on it next year, so.
All right.
So I'm
I'll-
ahead of you.
I'll-
I wanna go on record, I'm actually ahead of that one.
See, it's
okay?
crystal ball's not working. It's
Yeah.
working pretty
That
good.
don't happen very often, but I
Yeah.
want to be on record for that one, so.
Yeah, their only request was be on the improvement plan, and that was, I thought that was
Yeah,
real
no,
nice.
it's on our chip seal list, and next year we've already did the blade patching, fixed all the bad spots, and then we'll cap it with chip seal next year, so.
Sounds great.
Can the public access that? Isn't that
Hmm?
online or something? That's what I thought.
It's a county road, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
No, I mean, access the improvement plan.
Oh,
Sorry.
no, it's in my head.
All right, I thought I've seen it somewhere.
Good luck accessing.
All that good work and now it's in
It's
his
a
head.
scrambled up mess in there, yeah.
I was just gonna refer people to, oh, look at the website.
No, don't
See
give them my
what's-
cell phone number,
What the
please.
plan is. No, that's a good idea. Don't. I just thought I had seen it on there.
We have a work plan for what we get approved every year.
Yeah.
But what's in my head floating around is pretty wild, so, we'll just leave that one out of it, so.
Nothing we can write down, huh?
Nothing, no, not today. Other than that, we're doing pretty good. Everything's going well at the county shops. The mechanics are working on the chip seal equipment and, have it out this week or early next week, so I think we're just clicking right along, so, yep. So,
Thanks, Rob.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Rob.
Okay, see you guys later.
Bonnie, noxious weeds. That's a yellow, beautiful flower.
No. What is that? John?
Oh, I'm the worst at these, Bobbi. Those are,
Wheat.
Has milky sap, hint, hint.
Thistle?
Milk. Thistle doesn't have milky sap.
Oh.
This is leafy spurge. This is one of them that's pretty much flourishing this year.
Which was the lead of the month in February.
A+. He gets a cookie. Leafy spurge is on our A list. In Montana and Idaho, it's really taken over a lot of land, and it's really hard to kill. I'll spray it like year and year and year after year, and it just keeps coming back.
Is this on our road?
This is on up in Elk Springs. We've been treating all the leafy spurge since I started here, before I started here, on private properties, so we can try to eradicate it. So there were some new populations up on Maness Hill. I found a couple new populations on County Road P. So it's randomly popping up. I don't know if it's going through the irrigation system. On Maness Hill, it wasn't obviously through irrigation system. I think maybe animals or something brought it in, but we're on it. Okay, some updates. We have given out 89 backpack loaners. We've done 35 property visits. We've mapped noxious weeds on 378 properties, which is 16% of our total properties that have been mapped with noxious weeds since 2015. So that's pretty good. We're still low. As far as cost share, we have had 69 applicants. We've reimbursed about $8,500. Our crews have treated 410 acres on our right-of-way. And then we've treated 24 acres of our county property. And we've done 87 acres of bare ground treatments on our right-of-way edges. Our phreatophyte crew, since 2019, we have slayed 41,000 salt cedars and Russian olives. We have conserved about 709 acre feet. We still have 22 properties on our to-do list. I've been trying to hire some people that you guys approved for that 5-month position, and I have not had luck. I hired one teenager, and he is awesome. But as far as the adults that are applying, I have not found one that'll work. So I think I'm just going to stick with that one person I've hired and just use him until he starts school. He said he could probably work a weekend day through school for a couple more months, so that's great. But as far as hiring 2 people for 5 months, that did not work.
And just to clarify, Bonnie, the 22 properties you have on your to-do list, that's this year, not?
Correct.
There's not just 22 more properties with Russian olives?
No, that's just, yeah, yep. No, we got a lot of properties that we need to do. Here's some cool before and after pictures. Everybody likes pictures. That one's down McElmo. It was just a thick mat of salt cedar.
And Bonnie, in the picture on the right, what kind of bird is that?
That's, I don't know, the black one?
So is this on a private property? Or
These
is
are
this-
private
These are
ones
private.
that we've done.
So do you have your excavator working the 7 days a week?
Yep. It's just now starting. I have
3 people now, and my hope was to have 4. That way I can split them up equally, have 2 people on each crew, just for safety reasons. I want 2 people out there in case something happens to one person. But so Robbie and the new kid have been working on the excavator. They're at Litch Lighters right now. And then James has been doing follow-up treatments of all the sprouts on previously treated properties. So he's caught up now, so they're going to both split up under the 410s. James is okay working solo, so I'm just going to have him check in the morning and check out at night just to make sure he's okay. But that way we'll keep the excavator going 7 days a week. You're faster than, okay, so the Weber Canyon tour has been canceled because of the drought. All the vegetation is suffering. Those thistles are like 4 inches tall. So it's just not really a good representation of the difference in management because everything's hurting right now. So hopefully next year things will be better so we can actually see what's going on with the vegetation, what's flourishing, what's not on the 2 different managed areas. And I'm talking about the state land because we've treated the state land many times now, one with a fixed wing airplane, and then we did an application with a helicopter. I was going to put some biocontrol up there this year, but the bugs won't survive in the heat, so I didn't do that. But we've been actively managing the state land, whereas the BLM land, it hasn't, they're kind of relying more on biological control, and they're doing backpack spraying off of the side of our county road as far as they can go. But I haven't seen much evidence of spraying, but it's probably because of the drought and nothing's really surviving right now. Okay, we're going to have an applicator training on July 15th and 16th. This is mainly for licensed applicators to get their continued education credits. However, it's really good information. So if you do own a lot of land in this county, if you manage ranches or whatnot, feel free to come and you can pick your classes that you want to learn about. Like if you do a lot of stuff with your grazing permits on the forest, maybe come to the forest pest management. If you do stuff with rangeland, you can hit the 1 o'clock one on July 15th. So, and you know, as long as you're not staying for lunch, you don't have to pay. If you just want to come listen to a lecture, feel free to come. But if you want to attend the whole thing and if you want to get the catered lunch, you're going to have to register and pay some money so we can cover that cost. Okay, so some issues that we're getting a lot of complaint calls right now, obviously, because everything's blooming and people are seeing it and they're worried about it coming on their property. I'm sure you guys have gotten calls too, but it's probably getting 7 to 10 complaints a week. One thing that I'm struggling with is the flipping of house ownership. So somebody will sell their property after I've been sending notification letters to try to control their weeds, and I'm almost at the point where I can enforce, and then they sell the property to someone else, so I got to start all over again. And some properties are sold every single year, so the same property. So it's kind of challenging for me to get anything done with the new ownership every single year, but we're dealing with it.
How big of a problem is that? I mean, we can record these letters you're sending, and so that whenever somebody does a title search,
I was thinking about that. That'd be nice because there's a couple properties that are in really, really bad condition, but it just keeps selling and I can't do anything.
right?
So
I mean, I think notice will be legitimate if we make them public, and that way when, you know, if somebody's getting a mortgage, then they get title insurance, they do title searches. and
Okay.
They'll see the notice that this thing has to be remedied or, you know.
Because we did
eradicated.
sign, you guys approved a right of entry a while ago for this one property, and I was about to treat it, and then it sold, and I'm like, crap. So I think that's happened several times, actually, that's happened. And so maybe we'll talk about how to go
Yeah.
forward with some of that, because there are a couple properties that,
Yeah, I hate to see that happen.
yeah,
I think we can figure that out.
okay. All right, next. So just some background, 2021, we've sent out 40 certified letters requiring management plans. 4 were approved for right of entries in June. One of those, they actually went ahead and contacted me with a management plan. So 3 of those will be treated this week. 19 of those certified letters responded with management plans. And 11 are on the waiting list for plans, meaning I sent them the certified letter. I'm just giving them some time to contact us. And then I have 6 right of entry requests for today. So this one's on 25 and 26. They've been notified in 2016, 17, 19, 2020, and this year. They have Russian knapweed. Next. This is a picture of it. This one is on off Highway 491 and N. They've been notified 2015, 2016, 2017, 2019, 2020, and 2021. The entire property is knapweed, and it's very visible from, you know, the road, and the seeds are going to spread on the cars, so it's a priority area to get that cleaned up. And all the neighbors around there, they have management plans, and they've been actively managing as well. So it's only fair that this person does the same. All right, 23 and N. They've been notified 2015, 2018, 2019, 2020, and this year. A majority of their property is Russian knapweed. It's pretty thick and lush. This one is off of N, west of 22. We don't have much scentless chamomile in this county. I've only seen it on a handful of properties, and this is like the epicenter for it. They also have a lot of Russian knapweed. They've been notified in 2017, 2019, 2020, and this year. This is a picture of the scentless chamomile. It's just completely taken over, and there's an irrigation ditch that runs through here, so I'm worried it's just going to start spreading onto other properties. This one is on County Road 21, south of P. They've been notified 2016, 19, 2020, and this year. Russian knapweed. Okay, this one I've been getting complaints on. They've been notified for a couple years, but since I'm getting complaints from neighboring properties, I'm not going to give them any more years. I'm just going to go ahead and get it treated. Russian knapweed. Here's a picture of it. And that's all she wrote.
So you have 6 of them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
5
those
through
would be
10.
5 through 10.
That sounds like 5. That's 6.
5, 6,
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10.
Made me think too.
Starting
Starting
last
with
one was
5.
4, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. That's better. Up to 11, but not included.
Correct. However, whatever helps.
And
us
these
see.
will all be treated late fall, so they still have a couple months to get a hold of me. Right now, we're past the peak window of knapweed treatments.
So they haven't contacted you at all?
No.
Phone,
Nope,
letter, just no contact?
correct.
And you've contacted, it looks like most of them since 2015 or 16, every year consecutively.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what's the legalities of this, John? If we give a right of entry, we spray it, we don't get it killed, we send them back in again and charge them again the next year? until
We don't
they
actually
get
spray
killed?
it.
Well, we hire a contractor, but it will take several treatments to actually control, especially the knapweed. So we'll go in there and we'll manage it this year, and then if it starts getting worse and worse in upcoming years, we'll probably have to enforce again. But hopefully, after the initial treatment, they'll realize, okay, we need to really take care of this. There's only one other property that we've had to enforce twice.
But any subsequent enforcement, we have to do this again.
Yep.
So, but I'm just clarifying that we ourselves don't say, hey, you need to enforce this or we're putting a lien on your house. And by the way, we're going to do it and make the money off it. That's not the case at all.
No, it's a private contractor
Correct.
that does it.
Right. And if we fail at eradication, then it's still their responsibility to get it done. And so they can do it themselves. They can hire their own private contractor. If the weeds
As-
are still there, then our
As a-
weed department will come back to you guys to enforce again.
In fact, most of these have had 5 to 6 years to hire their own contractor.
Yeah, and there's an expiration date on all these right of entries. I think this one is November 2021. You'd have to scroll down.
Yeah.
And we'll only treat it once. We're not going to keep going in multiple times until it expires. We treat it once and then
I
keep
move
following
we
up.
approve the 6 right of entries as presented.
Okay, I will second it. So it has been moved and seconded. Any discussion? To accept a resolution granting Montezuma County Weed Program or its designees right of entry onto property to control noxious weeds based on affidavit of County Weed Supervisor. Noxious weeds resolutions 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That takes all of us.
Okay, any other
Any nays?
suggestions?
I'm sorry.
Nay.
Okay.
See any bad weeds I need to kill on the county right of ways? I can't see it all, so if you guys see something, let me know. We got a big county.
I think we need to, I don't know how you do it, spray it, but we need to spray to the fence lines, because that is our bar ditch. If we're not killing them plumb to the fence lines, I don't think it's fair that we go on people's private property unless we're killing all the weeds in our own right of ways.
We do. That's what the bare ground project is. It's making sure that our right of way is down to bare ground.
Well, at least off the edge of the road, but we do spray to the fence. I mean, we're actively
You know,
spraying, we
I've
cover the
followed
roads.
the truck twice now, and it sprays about that far from the edge of the pavement. I've followed it down the road.
And you
I-
saw weeds that they weren't spraying
Well,
by the fence?
The weeds don't grow in just that 4-foot section, they grow plumb to the fence line.
But he's spraying specific weeds. So if you saw like knapweed to the fence line and he wasn't spraying that, I can definitely address that with my sprayer.
We need to take care of our own weeds before we let people on private property.
Well, and we do.
I run across something, I couldn't get out in the field and see it. It was private property and I didn't want to, but it looked like toad flax out on Road X north, it was on the north side of Road X east of 21.
Yep, we definitely have a lot of Dalmatian toad flax out there. I've been doing a lot of biocontrol to see if that helps it, and it is, but it's definitely growing in population across our county, so we are notifying landowners with that. Anything else?
Bonnie, will you
I
email
just,
all of the commissioners, myself and the attorney, the Colorado Noxious Weed Act, so that there's a thorough understanding of what it is we're enforcing and why and how we're
Okay,
authorized?
and I can send you our Montezuma County weed plan too.
Do we
Does that
have
kinda-
any shorter summary so they don't have to read the statutes? I don't know if we have some general, this is what.
It's not too
the
long,
noxious
but
is.
yeah, I can look.
I mean, statutes aren't fun to read for people.
I think the biggest point is when you try to contact somebody since 2015 and you, I mean, is all she asks is that she gets a response and a plan to try to manage or mitigate. And when we don't get any response, I mean, we're doing this now 5 years down the road, 6 years down the road, and I think that's what we're really struggling with is like, just communicate with us and try to get these things taken care of because it does comply with the statute to manage them. And, you know, with people moving properties, I understand that too. That person doesn't do anything, they sell their property and then it becomes the next person's issue. So I definitely think John's on the right track to record that so that does become part of that search so that somebody knows, hey, I do have to take care of these eventually as I take care of this piece of property. But being a good steward of the ground means taking care of it too.
Definitely. I mean, and it's impacting your neighboring properties. That's why it's a Colorado state law is to manage these invasive weeds. They're not just some obnoxious weeds. They damage our soil. And they're very harmful to our agriculture. They're harmful to some of the livestock, depending on which species it is. So they're not just some dandelions. I mean, they're bad things. And I mean, just put in perspective, we sent 40 certified letters, but we have what, like 15,000 properties? So 40 divided by that, it's a very low percentage that we're having issues
I
with.
think we have a lot more than 15,000 properties,
How many do we have?
a lot more.
25,000?
Well, there are a lot of people that own multiple properties.
Yeah, true.
So that's the population that you're thinking of.
Okay, maybe.
But it's a lot more properties.
Yeah. But overall, I mean, our county is doing good. Most people are working really hard at restoring their land to native species, so that's great.
Okay.
Good to go?
Bonnie, I'm curious, do you know what other neighboring counties, I know some places have weed districts.
Mhm.
Does Dolores County have their own weed department?
They have a weed department and they have a weed district. So their weed district only encompasses a portion of the the county, but then they also have the county weed department to handle the rest.
And then La Plata County has a weed department for the
Yep,
county?
correct.
And it's not, but it doesn't encompass other counties? It's not
Correct.
like a La Plata Archuleta thing?
No.
Okay. Can you do prairie dogs?
No, and I do not want to. I don't want to touch those things. Oh my God.
Why?
Thanks, John.
Okay.
Neither can Empire
Lead
Electric,
poisoning.
apparently.
Anything else?
What?
Do prairie dogs.
We're not in the prairie dog business anymore.
No.
I know, that came
But yeah,
up
if
in
you
the
guys
solar
see a
farm.
bad noxious weed problem, like Joel, if you're seeing stuff on the edge of the road, let me know so we can address that. Because a lot of times, we're going to have to hand spray in certain areas because maybe they're growing alfalfa on the other side of the fence and we have knapweed up to the fence. I don't want that risk of shooting over the fence onto their alfalfa, so I'd have to send somebody out there to hand spray it.
Okay.
All right? Have a good day.
You too.
Is there any reason we couldn't ask the sheriff to use inmate labor to hand spray the road ditches? Like, ask one crew to go ahead picking up the litter and the second come behind with backpack sprayers?
I think it was just, we actually asked that question one time, and
We can.
we can. The issue is you have to have the deputies out with them. The way I understood it is we have to have the supervision with those people all the time.
I mean, it probably depends on the program that the sheriff's
So-
department sets up. There is such thing as work release type programs, but those require you to have an employer. So really though, it's at the discretion of the sheriff. I mean, you can ask.
Right.
What about the folks on UPS?
That's a thought. I mean, I don't think there's anything prohibiting that. I know that if you're ordered to do useful public service, I think is what you're referring to,
Yes.
through the courts, they run it, I believe, through the sheriff's department. Maybe it's through probation, I'm not positive. And you actually have to pay a small insurance type fee for that. But that could probably be.
We do get useful public service at the landfill and occasionally at the fairgrounds.
Is it through the sheriff or
It-
through
it-
probation?
It's through probation,
Okay.
and we do, when we get them, have them help with litter control. Sometimes that is on County Road 25, but we could just as easily give them a backpack after they do the litter
I don't think I
control.
would trust them with a backpack sprayer. I think that would have its own liability issues, spraying herbicide.
See, and I agree with that too, because just as she doesn't want to spray somebody's hayfield,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to let,
They could purposely do
I'm
that to
sorry,
get us in a
Commissioner, have you
lawsuit.
seen Road 25?
I have.
But piling slash for Russian olives, get them out there. Okay.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Thanks, Bonnie.
All right, Mel, next, landfill. Good morning. What'd you break?
So our BOMAG machine down there, which is getting quite a few hours on it, one of the rear wheels, the final drive unit was going out of it. So we had the mechanic come out and do some checking on it. It's $25,000 just for the parts alone to fix this unit, plus labor and freight, which will be coming from Germany because they don't have it here and it's 4 to 6 weeks out.
Is that all?
That's it.
From Germany? 4 to 6?
It's kind of irritating. You spend over $500,000 on a machine and they don't stock parts for it. This is not the first issue we've had with this machine. The last time the engine went out, it took us, I don't know, what, Shaq, almost 2 months
Roughly.
to get the machine up and running.
So is this the primary or is this the backup?
No, the
We only
BOMAC's the
have one
primary.
machine.
trash compactor.
It is the.
The
so-
backup is the D8.
Yeah,
Okay, which doesn't do any compaction at all.
no.
I mean,
It's-
it gets
it'll be
like
less than half.
600 for
So it just
compaction.
barely smashes it and that's it, there's no compaction with
Barely,
it.
yeah. We lose a lot of airspace when the BOMAC's down. What are you getting for compaction right now?
I haven't checked it lately. Last time we checked it was about 1,100 pounds.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe do compaction with what you're getting out of the dozer, and then when you get the BOMAC up and running, and then we can
Well, the
estimate how
BOMAC
much
is running.
airspace we lost.
We're running it, they said, to go ahead and run it till it just quits.
Run it till it breaks.
And if the wheel breaks, then we'll just drag it out of the way with the dozer. Because we're replacing the whole unit. Because the parts to fix the individual pieces turned out to be more than the complete unit. So we're running it till it quits.
So we had asked, and this has been a while back, to look at the option of a backup.
Yeah, I've been looking for one, but it's a very unique
Right,
market.
they're just to landfills.
Yeah.
So we still haven't. Because those cells are awful expensive to construct also. So with occupying that much more airspace, losing
Airspace is
cell
money.
space, we
Costs
really
us
need
money.
that compaction.
Yeah, the less airspace that we waste, it costs us money. So, still
Get it
looking,
fixed. Yeah, I mean,
but like, it's a very unique market. It's hard to come across a good, decent used machine.
yeah.
Most of them, when they run them like everybody else, they run them till they quit and they're worthless. So, moving to a CAT machine, I've talked to another landfill manager. He's got a CAT machine. It was down for over 2 months because he couldn't get it going. He wound up, was very lucky and found a machine that was a backup down in Mexico. So, and that's why we're still looking for one, just haven't come across one.
And CAT has smaller cleats. It doesn't have the
CAT
cutters.
doesn't
It
get the
doesn't,
compaction that the BOMACs do. It's just not as the well-designed machine.
and it doesn't have the guards, and it doesn't have the offset teeth, and the teeth are shorter, and they're not as hard.
How does our administrator know this stuff?
Huh?
How does our administrator know all about this?
Because he run the
BOMAC?
landfill, and he can come back to it. Rachel pointed out we have a discrepancy in our screening weights that we charge. And the screenings are what we get from the Cortez Sanitation District, Maness Sanitation District. We've only been charging $38.68 per ton for that, and it should be $53.91 because that doesn't go into a compost or anything else. That goes right into the landfill. So that rate should be moved up to match that. I don't know how old that price is, but it's been in there a long time, and it should be matched with MSW. So I need to change that if you guys agree to that.
I think anytime we change prices, we try and typically give those people a few
Oh, yeah, we will.
months through their budgeting process so that they understand that they're going to change.
Right.
I think we did it last time, Shaq, we did 6 months.
Yeah.
So that
I mean, you could give them notice now, and they'd have it in their September budget
We'll
presentations.
just
and
make it
be
effective first of the year.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Does that sound okay to you guys?
Yeah.
Probably ought to, two of you approve it, vote on it.
So tell them the changes now, what you want it to
We
be.
need to change the screening weights from $38.68 to be applicable with the MSW rate of $53.91.
And you're just talking screenings, not biosolids, because
Screenings on-
biosolids.
Biosolids is done by yards.
Effective
Yeah.
January 1st of 2022.
Correct.
Motion to approve the screening weights.
I'll second it.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to approve the increase of cost for the screening weights from $38.60 to $53.91, effective January 1st, 2022. All those in
Second.
favor?
second. Yes. Aye, whatever. Something like that, yeah.
It's already been moved and seconded once.
You had one job this morning, Commissioner.
We're good.
Yeah, I know, I dropped the ball.
Okay, go ahead, man.
All right, compost rows, I did 5 rows, they've all met time and temp. As soon as they cool off, I'll push them up. I still got water, I'm gonna make some more compost. We'll just see how that goes. I don't know if I have enough to complete another set, but we're gonna try.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. We got 5
If you
rows.
don't, you can just cook it next year.
Yeah. We've got a lot better mulch this year. This compost should be coming out a lot better than what we had this year. Man, that stuff heated up really fast and really hot. 2 of the rows, I had a lot of trouble keeping the temperature down. One row went up to 180 degrees within
Wow.
just like 10 days. So we turned it a lot, kept it going good. They're done. We'll start some more soon. We're sending our foreman, Gary Nelson, to the composting school in Nebraska the first week of August, so there'll be 2 of us down there certified to do compost. And we've had an issue with CDPHE on our N.M.P.M. They had stuck a comment in there where we are not allowed to accept PCS soils, petroleum contaminated soils. We caught it, got with the engineers, they got it straightened out. The new permit coming out will have that limitation removed.
Because we've always done that.
Yeah.
We've
We
always
always
done
have.
that.
And when we were going through this construction permit, this new deal with the tier 2 and all that, they had snuck in a comment that we're not allowed to accept PCS soils, and I happened to catch it. They said it was on a previous N.M.P.M, which we had never received, nor do I have a copy of it. But anyway, we had to go through the whole process of having that removed because it had been in there.
And at $125 an hour, how long did it take CDPHE to review their own friggin' mistake?
I don't know yet.
Well, why have you not received this? I mean, you should be able to ask for it and they provide it for you.
They had to do a search to find it.
Have you
What does
seen
that
the
mean?
speed people move at when you pay them $125 an hour? This slows them way down.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that's finally resolved. As soon as I've had my engineer look at it, I haven't heard back from her, but it should be done. And we'll be continuing with the tier 2 testing every 5 years at $55,000, whatever it's going to cost. And on our budget, we're doing okay. We're making some money. We're kind of ahead what I had planned. We should be way ahead because we're not going to build the compost pad because we don't have water for it.
Do we need to, when we do the transfer order after the end of the year to put into the closure, post-closure, do we need to keep some of that out for building the cell next, or building the compost pad in the future?
We will.
Okay.
Weaver Consultants pretty well has the plans done. Heather Barbera, that was going to be our permitter, is no longer going to be our permitter. It's going to be
Well,
Ed.
that was quick.
Yeah. She's
So-
moving on.
We can do that easily next spring.
Oh, yeah. I want to do the subgrade this fall. I want
Right.
the plans done. I want to get the subgrade in this fall, have it leveled off and everything, so we can start and get it in, get it done as soon as we can. We are also putting trash, we're out of cell 4, we're not putting any trash in cell 4. We're putting all the trash in cells 1, 2A, and 2B, and 3, and we're bringing all those up to the same level, so I have a huge area in case we do have an issue with compost pad. I still have a huge area to compost.
To use them all
It's
on
going
the
to be
top.
twice the size of what I've got now.
What's your elevation to go yet on cell 1?
In the center to the peak of the dome is about another 17 feet high.
I'm just wondering when we're gonna get around to closing that cell, but it
It's
sounds
gonna
like a
be-
couple years yet.
It's going to be a while. We want to have all the compost pad done and be in cell 4 before we close cell 1. So that's a steady progress.
See, you have quite a bit of elevation, and if you're catching up with the other two also.
You're right. Right. And we did have Weaver down to CQA the slopes. We had to rent a LGB dozer to push up the dirt on the slopes. Randy Bouet was in last week, surveyed it, verified that we have enough cover on that. Now we're just waiting for clearance from the state. And we can go back into cell 4 whenever we want, as soon as that's done. So that's all I've got.
Okay. Gentlemen? Question?
No, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Mel.
Thanks, Mel.
Thank you.
Okay, Fairgrounds, Justin. Morning.
Okay. So as far as what we got out there, our attendance to date, 43,535 people. Our income is $51,899.99. The Ute Mountain Rodeo credit that we gave them was $14,725, and I'll kind of talk to you a little bit more about that after I get through the rest of this, so I'll kind of come back to that one. For the past month, we had gold graduation out there, car races on June 4th and 5th, the commodity giveaway June 5th. Then we went into the Ute Mountain PRCA Rodeo, and they had record turnouts this year. I don't know if you guys got a chance to go out there, but a lot of people. They also had the carnival running at the same time. That brought in a lot of people as well. And they tried a concert up there in the indoor arena. It was kind of hard in tin can because it was loud, but so for their future plans, they're going to probably try to do something else if they try to do a concert. But they gave it a shot, and it definitely probably needs to be adjusted a little bit. June 18th and 19th, we had some car races again. That was actually a makeup race because of some rain that we had from the previous month. June 19th, had a True Western Roundup Rodeo. The 26th was the Ag Expo Ranch Rodeo and roping. Then July 2nd was car races, which was this last weekend. And then Saturday they had a rodeo, car race, and concert. Then also the commodity giveaway was this last weekend. Coming up, we have National Team Roping this weekend. It's a big 2-day deal. I'm hopeful we're going to have quite a few ropers in that. July 15th and 16th, Bonnie's going to do a herbicide application training out there. I know she talked a little bit about that. July 15th is a test and tune, followed by car races that weekend. July 17th and 18th is a 4-H horse show, which is actually part of the fair. They're just running it the weekend before to kind of help with planning and getting it done and making everything a little easier. Then, of course, we jump right into the fair, which runs July 23rd to the 31st. Of course, they're going to have concert and some barrel races, a couple rodeos, demolition derby. They'll have all kinds of stuff. So, if you want to go back to the Ute Mountain Rodeo, what I was talking about with that, and I do got some pictures, if Shak wants to throw those up. What they do with us is they kind of do an in-kind trade. Their total bill this year was $14,725. So just to kind of give you an idea of what they've done the last couple years that we've credited them for, are that sidewalk that leads up to the grandstands. That's on the north side right there. That one's on the south side. They put those in last year. This is a 12-foot gate that they put in this year, so you can kind of put trailers such as the beer wagon, things like that in there, and then there's power right next to it available. This is a secretary office. They had that old little bitty one that they got rid of, and then they came and put this one in, and that really helps with keeping people from having to go up and walk that catwalk. Gives a place for the secretary to sit and take all their registration stuff. So it really helps, and a lot of the events are excited to use that's coming in. And I think there's a couple pictures of those. So that's kind of what we credit them this last 2 years. If you guys got any questions on that. Okay. As far as the Ute Mountain Rodeo Committee, I went to their meeting, I think it was last week, and kind of talked to them a little bit. they are interested in doing a big project and in doing in-kind trade for it. And their thoughts, and when I was talking to them, is maybe we can do a couple different things, or they can do a couple different things. One might be to expand the parking lot back there, kind of where that airstrip is. Go back there, kind of level that off, gravel maybe half of it, because I know we do have some plans of maybe doing a little concert area there sometime in the future, you know, with parking lot. That way they can move the carnival over, free up some space for parking. That's one of the thoughts. Another thought is they might be willing to build like a barn for our panels that I've been talking about in the past. They might be interested in doing something like that, but
Is that to the south or to the west?
for the parking lot,
Yeah, the west?
that would be to the southwest, correct. So if you know where our round pin is, if you kind of remember where our round pin is, it's straight south of our outdoor arena. From that area all the way over to the racetrack is where that old little airstrip thing was, and none of that gets used anymore. So I know I was talking to James Dietrich a little bit about some of the plans that the county had in the past moving forward and building the fairgrounds up. And some of that he showed me that they actually had maybe a concert stage out there in a grass area, plus additional parking. So that's something that, you know, I think would work out there. So maybe we can work with the Ute Mountain Committee.
They
and
about run out of parking out there.
They did. They ran out of parking out there. I mean, because they completely sold out.
The carnival.
Yeah.
You know, and the carnival takes up a good half of that parking lot. So at least for them, if it got moved over, you know, if they were to clear out some of that area, or like half of it, make it a parking lot, then, you know, it's kind of gravelled for whatever future plans or even for, you know, given more accessible parking and carnival setup. And then we could do something else with that other space. Like, yeah, right there where Shak's cursor is, if we kind of split that up, you know, half and half, and let them kind of gravel one side of it, and then we kept the other side for like a future concert stage and area or something like that, you know, whatever we might come up with. But that's one of their thoughts. And then, like I said, the other thought was maybe the horse barn. But I'm in talks with them, so I'm going to kind of go over a couple of those things with them, get some prices, and kind of see where that's going to be at on a scale. And then I'll get back with you guys and kind
The
of.
future concerts that they have, because we already have the seating with that rodeo area, why is that not, I mean, better? Because if you get out there in the sun, just the open sun, not real appealing to a lot of people to go. I mean, when they have their concerts, unless it's after dark, and I mean,
Yeah,
I
the
think that-
concerts, we need to have them in the arena, try to figure out a big stage system that we can just drag in there and out of there. And
because that sun, there are no trees, there's nothing out there. You are wide open and you are baking. So I
Yeah.
would think that arena would be the best place for the concerts right now, unless, I mean, I saw, which we don't have anywhere near the kind of money that they were talking about for that outside amphitheater there. That's, I mean, unless they do, I'm definitely entertain that kind of a
No,
thought, but
yeah.
that's you're gonna be baking. That's wide open, and you're,
You're gonna fry your brain.
gosh, you're gonna fry because the sun sets.
I mean,
that whole area
certain
is-
concerts, you do need a fried brain to attend.
I don't think
I
we'll
don't
draw
think-
enough
I
people
don't
to
think
those
we're
kind
talking
of
about
concerts
that.
in Montezuma County.
Well, the thought is, you know, it's just kind of gives an extra area, because if you do run things like the rodeo out there, they've got that taken up. So you can't do any concert stuff when the rodeo's going on. The fair, the only reason they do that the Friday before is because we can't do it in that arena any other time. So that's why they set it up.
Sure.
Our only other thing with the outdoor arena is the seating issue and the amount of people that you can get in there. If we fill up all those seats, you know, you're looking at like 2,400 people. If you put 1,000 in front, you know, that's about your max. If you went outside, you could probably put up to 5,000. Granted, they're all going to be standing. But that was kind of the thought on that, just for, and I'm not saying go spectacular on a little amphitheater out there, I mean like future on, it would just maybe be a grass area with a portable stage and power, hookups, so that they could do something bigger than what the outdoor arena might be available to. That was the only thought for that, maybe in the future. But I did talk to James, and I was wanting to get with him maybe this winter and kind of go over some of those things that he has on file, that some of the previous commission has looked at and kind of talked about, and they've kind of drawn up a little bit, and see if there's a future plan that we can kind of strive towards, and maybe look at a grant system for, and getting grants. But
That other building's needed out there too,
it is.
stalls and stuff, because that'd save a lot of labor.
Yeah,
Taking them in and out of the buildings and.
It will, and it'll help a lot of the events because they're already set up and they're there.
Right.
And especially like the fair. The fair uses all those barns that are there now for, their livestock. So if you had another barn just for horses, when they bring in their rodeo and barrel race, we could rent those out. But the thought on that would be to maybe put a canopy style building, kind of like the swine barn. Not really enclosed, just, something to where it's shaded, it's covered, it's got, screen around it, next to the beef barn there on the west side. But, and I'll let you guys know, kind of, I'm gonna go over a couple of those things with them, kind of see where they're leaning, what they would like to do, and then I'll bring it back to you and see what you guys' thoughts are on it, and if we want to, kind of let them take on one of them big projects like that. The other issue we had is we did have some problem with electrical at the racetrack. He was having issues with the lights in the infield going out the last couple races. So I did get Jerry out there, and we ended up putting in a new breaker box down there in the infield. For some reason, it's all getting hot, and we don't know why and can't figure it out. But he did get through this weekend fine, so I don't know if we kind of got that to a situation where we're okay now, but we are looking at that closely.
So he put in bigger breakers?
No, it's the same size of breakers. We've just been having problems with that breaker panel getting so hot. Like for some reason it's overloaded, but it's not. I mean, it's pulling where it's supposed to be. It's pulling 80% less than the advertised 200 amps. So it's just something that we're dealing with right now. So just to give you an idea. I guess that's about all I got.
I don't want to necessarily talk too much about the negotiated racetrack lease, but there were a few things that were still left to be decided on by you guys if in fact the racetrack is leased for next year. The way I drafted the lease was to start January 1st through December 31st of 2022, and some of the issues for you all to just think about were I think the value I put in there was $15,000 to be paid up front. Again, that's up to you guys, whether or not you want to pay it up front, whether you want to pay it monthly or what. I put it in there to be paid up front. The amount of security deposit, I put in $1,000 for that. Exactly what kind of insurance or indemnification you want him to have, if different than what he has right now. It's pretty detailed in the lease what he needs, but if you don't want him to have that much, then you can change that. And then I think an important thing that Justin brought up were utilities. I had in there that whoever the lessor was who's leasing the racetrack would be responsible for all the utilities. I put in a line that says something to the effect of only utilities that are being used by the racetrack for those purposes, so that if we're having a fair and we're using those utilities, then the county would take it over. It might be more complicated than I've thought through as far as how to figure out if it's in the lessor's name, or whether or not we're just sending the amounts to the lessor, or whether or not you want to include it in the lease and not charge.
With the meters on there, we can just read the meter prior to and afterwards, and it's all metered. So it's real simple. I mean, through Empire Electric to know what kind of kilowatts were used, and then to reimburse for that. But I thought instead of January, I thought the bigger thing was to negotiate the contract. I think he said the end of August or September. That way it was he was either able to keep or
Easy enough.
demob his equipment.
Yeah, easy enough. That's a word change. You know, you can just change the dates in there from this date to this
Right.
date.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were just kind of thinking the racing season from like March to October or something,
Okay.
you know, but yeah, same
My
thing.
bad.
Yeah.
And then a lesser rate for anything he wants to store during the
Well,
off-season.
it would just be,
Well,
here's
it's a
the
yearly
amount.
contract with
Here's
this
the
guy.
amount of the contract. If you want to store your equipment there, fine. If you don't, fine. But it was a yearly contract. That way he has access to it. He may decide he wants to do a concert down there in October. He has the opportunity to do that.
Well,
So.
not the way I worded the lease. It's for racing
Correct,
purposes.
it's for racing, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying there's, you know, as we look at it now and read it, we can then discuss it in a workshop and say, what do we, you know, because it really is, it's truly nothing more than a racetrack or demolition derby, but, I mean, he may want to have one or two of those.
Well, yeah, you could do lawnmower races. It's pretty expanded on races, so.
And that's why a
Like,
yearly contract makes more sense to everybody,
Yep.
actually.
Well, John sent that over to me today, so I'll probably, kind of look at that over and make sure everything looks pretty good as far as what I need. Then I guess that would probably have to be approved later on and stuff, I'm
Right.
assuming.
Yeah, and that one I sent is more detailed than the last one. So you guys can talk about it in the
Okay.
future and figure out whether or not that's what you want or not.
Okay.
Okay,
That's all I got. If you guys
All right.
got any questions or?
gentlemen?
Thank you.
All right.
Everybody I talked to said
Not
you've done a
at this
great
time.
job at the rodeo.
Well, thank you.
At this time, thank you, Justin.
Yep.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Unfinished business. The only question I had, Shak, was were we able to, again, get a hold of anybody at the school districts for the SRS?
I have gotten a hold of the new superintendent in Maness. I am waiting on contact information for superintendents at
So
RE1
should we
and
just move
Dolores.
forward with the school board president, or just move forward how, I mean, because we can't.
Whoever you want. I mean,
They
as
all
long
have
as-
a board.
Right.
Why don't we just
Ask them to send a
Are
rep.
you guys okay with that? Because we
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
there's still,
I mean, it was a unique year in the fact that all three superintendents
gone.
changed, so.
Right.
And staff is generally not in the office this time of year, making it even more complicated.
I would solicit the board to say, send a rep, whoever it is.
Yeah.
Somebody
So-
from the, any
From the
school
board,
from-
Any
from,
board member. Yeah.
Designated representative.
doesn't even have to be a board member. They can choose who they want to.
They can send
Or
a
the board-
teacher's aide or a
one of the board
custodian
can
if they
go.
want, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
so I would move forward with that.
And then the other thing I have under unfinished business is late last week, the sheriff emailed everybody a copy of his draft for the marijuana stuff. So I think we should all have that read, have our red lines or whatever we're going to do to that prior to the Monday
session.
meeting on the, I guess it would be the 18th or the 19th. So we can discuss that in a
For that
workshop
work
because
session.
he'll be presenting the following day. So I know you all have that in your inbox. I'm sure you had other things going on during the 4th of July, but, while we're deciding what the government should charge and control, we were taking one weekend to let freedom ring, so.
All right. Anything else under unfinished
What was the
business?
date you just said?
Joe? okay?
Monday the 19th.
Okay, well, everybody has given their reports. Gentlemen, I think we are done until 1:30. We'll be back at 1:30. Actually, we're
Board of Health.
Board
going
of
to
Health
have a
will-
Board of Health meeting, so the BOCC meeting will be adjourned. And
Reconvene
we'll
as
be
Board of
back
Health
at
at
1:30 and reconvene as the Board of Health.
Everybody to Dexter's house for lunch.